Hey there, everyone. Hello. Happy Thursday. Hope everybody's having a great day today. So, I am super pumped to be here today and talk to you again about online courses. This is a big piece of my business for me. It's something that I think is such a tremendous thing to add to your online business. And so, I'm really excited today for this live. So today we are talking all about the 3 myths about online courses. And there are probably more than 3. So if you've got any questions or doubts or concerns or thoughts about online courses, I would love for you to pop them in the comments. And if I get time, I will more than happily address them for you. But I wanted to bring 3 to you today that I hear a lot. And these are 3, and spoiler alert, they're myths, right? I said they're myths. But these are 3 things I hear a lot from folks in my community about online courses, and they're just not true. And so I think it's really important to for us to chat about them today. So the first one that I want to do, and hold on, I got to get this working. There we go. The first one we're going to talk about is I'm going to make a lot of money with my course. Now you might be wondering why I'm saying that this is a myth, because aren't I talking about how online courses are great and I love them and you should totally have one in your business? Yes, I am. Well, then why am I telling you that you're not going to make a lot of money with your course? Here's the thing, and I hear this a lot with people, is people who are struggling in their businesses or feeling burnt out or whatever it may be, and they decide to create an online course and they think this is going to be it. This is going to be the $1 million moneymaker. I cannot wait. I'm going to make so much money out of the gate. This is going to be great. And they go out there and they create this course and they put up a couple of social media posts and nobody buys. And then they think, well, I don't know what happened. And then they become an online course hater. Then they become one of these people who says online courses suck and you can never make any money and they're awful. Well, here's the reality of the situation. Most people are not going to hit the $1 million. They're not going to hit the big bucks the first time they launch their online course. And you know what? That's okay. Because whenever you're starting something new in your business, there is always going to be that figuring it out period where you're trying to figure out the messaging and who you're speaking to and how you're speaking to them, and how to get this incredible thing that you've created out in the world in a way that invites people in who want to work with you on this, right? It's the same thing with an online course. So there's always going to be a bit of legwork at the beginning to get your course out there, to get the messaging right, to make sure that this is something that people really want to engage in and want to learn about from you. And so for, the thing I always tell my clients is every time you launch your online course, you should think about it not as did I succeed or did I fail, but what information did I collect from this launch that is going to enable me to make my next launch even better. And so anytime I go into a course launch, and I don't actually launch my course live anymore, it's on Evergreen, but every so often, since it's always available, I'm looking at the numbers and I'm saying, okay, what have I learned about this? Are more people buying it now than last month? Who's buying it? How often am I getting sales? How many people have to come sort of into my funnel before they buy? And so I'm taking all of this data and I'm also looking at where in the process they're buying. Are they buying? I happen to do a webinar. So are they buying right at the webinar? Or are they buying 7 days later when I send them that last email that says, you have to buy this now or the discount's going to go away, or the bonus, I offer a bonus. The bonus is going to go away. Where are they buying it in the process? Because I do a webinar, are they even showing up for the webinar? So all of this data that I'm collecting is helping me to tweak and make it better, and tweak and make it better, and test. So it's like tweak, test, improve, tweak, test, improve. And frankly, that's what we should always be doing in our business, whether or not it's an online course or a membership or coaching or whatever it may be that we offer. But tweak, test, improve, tweak, test, improve. And so this is a myth, because even though you probably will make a lot of money with your online course over time if you really commit to it, I never want someone to dive into creating an online course thinking, I'm going to do this once and I'm going to put it out there and boom, it's going to be great. I'm going to make so much money. That's just not the reality of it. And you know what? That's okay. Because I have a sneaking suspicion that you are not the kind of person who is looking for the quick win, because you understand that building a long-term sustainable business is more important than just trying to buy the next thing that's going to give you the secret that's going to help you make your millions, right? Like you're smarter than that, and you want to build a business that has impact. You want to build a business that you're proud of. You want to build a business that you believe in, and doing that takes hard work and it takes time, and it takes that process of tweaking and testing and improving and whatnot, right? So that's the first myth for you. Okay. Now the second myth, also one of my favorites that I hear a lot, is I don't have anything to create an online course about. And let me just tell you, I hear this from so many people. And my answer to them is always this. There is a woman that I know who has created an online course about how to make candy apples. She sells this online course for $100 and she has a multi-six-figure business. So I don't ever want to hear from you that there is nothing in your life that you could create an online course about. I was actually just listening to Amy Porterfield's podcast today, Online Marketing Made Easy. You all may know Amy Porterfield is one of my business mentors. And she had on a woman who was talking about how she created an online course with 5 kids. She had 5 kids at home, 5 young kids, created her online course all about what's called the elimination method. And so teaching kids basically to give cues when they need to go to the bathroom. So little babies, like we're talking 1 year old, so that you don't end up having to do potty training. You don't end up having to use diapers all the time. So she created an online course about that. And you know how she created that, or why she came up with that idea? Because when she got pregnant and she had her first child, she heard someone talk about this idea of elimination communication, which is, again, the communicating when the child communicating when they need to go. And she thought, I want to do that because I don't want to deal with diapers. And so she kind of learned how to do it, and she figured out her own tips and tricks that worked. And then when she became really successful at it, again, 5 kids, did this for all of them, she thought, well, I can teach other parents how to do this too. So when I hear someone come to me and say, I don't have anything to create an online course about, then I think either you were literally just born yesterday and haven't done anything or learned anything in your life, or I think you're not spending enough time really sitting there and thinking about what it is that you do that's magical. There are so many things in my life and in your life too that we have learned how to do, that we have overcome obstacles, that we have figured out a better way, a better roadmap, a better path, a better tactic, a better trick, that we have done in our lives that we can teach other people to do. The thing I always like to say with this one is like, ask the people who know you really well what it is you're good at, or just think about, what do people come to you and ask you for help with? What do people joke with you about? Like, people love to joke with me that, like, I love a good spreadsheet, or I like things super organized. And those are both really true, and they speak to my skill sets, which is why I do what I do now. So pay attention to what it is that people look to you for help with, and then think, how can I put that information into a format that allows me to guide and support a lot of people? And that's really what an online course does, right? It takes everything it takes the proven process that you've created, and it puts it into a format that allows you to get that support in the hands of lots of people, because when it's an online course, you can bring on more and more and more people than you ever could when you're working one-on-one or even in a group setting. So just thinking about what it is that you're good at, what it is that you've been successful at, what it is that you've learned how to do, what, roadmap or solution or, whatever it may be that, that you can help someone else with. And the other thing I like to think about along this line is, just because, like, I hear this a lot. I hear, I'm not an expert, or I don't know enough. But I can guarantee you that whatever journey you're on, you're at least one step ahead of someone else. So, I may not be the most expert, the most successful business owner ever, but I am one step ahead of a lot of people in running an online business, right? So always think about those people. Those people are coming up behind you. How can you help them? Maybe you can't help the person who's 10 years ahead of you. Maybe they've already figured out what you know. But how can you help the people who are coming up behind you? So I guarantee you, in fact, this is like my challenge to you. You can drop it in the comments, you can DM me, you can send me an email at support@megkwheeler.com, but I guarantee you cannot stump me. Tell me something you're good at, and I will tell you how you can turn that into an online course. Cool? All right, the last myth. There are too many courses out there already. Or a variation on this that I'll often hear is someone else has already created a course on insert my topic here. Or a lot of people are already doing this. Let me just tell you, let's take the first one, the bigger picture one first, which is that there are just too many courses out there. The fact that there are a lot of courses out there should tell you that courses work. Courses are something that people are interested in. People want to learn in that manner. Look, I went to college, I went to grad school. I'm so grateful for that educational experience. But I also know that many, many, many people do not have the opportunity to go sit in a classroom and learn about some particular topic that they want to learn about. Sometimes it's a time issue. Sometimes it's a money issue. Sometimes it's a sort of kind of a physical situation issue where maybe you don't have a car and you can't get there, or maybe you have a disability and so going and sitting in a classroom for long hours isn't comfortable for you. Maybe you have kids and so finding childcare is a challenge for you. Maybe you live in a rural area and so there aren't in-person schools. All of these things lead to why online courses are so popular, because they're accessible, they're in many cases more affordable, and they really enable people to learn something new, to deepen their skill sets, to broaden their exposure in a much more accessible and affordable way. So when we hear this, there are too many courses out there, I want you to just scrap that right now because it's just not the case. Now, the sort of follow-up to that is, well, someone else is already teaching on what I want to teach on, or a lot of people are. And again, my answer is that is the best market validation you could ever ask for. And when we say market validation, we mean essentially proof that your business idea is a good one. Market validation comes through talking to people and doing research and, competitor analysis and all of this. But if other people are out there being successful doing what you want to do, that is the best market validation you could ever ask for. So when I see one of my online competitors do something, I don't get jealous. I don't get pissy that they're doing it. I think, yes, they're doing it and it's working. That's proof that when I do it, it's going to work for me too. And it takes away that doubt that nobody's going to want what I have to offer. And so if I ever have trouble selling something, I don't sit there and think it's because it sucks or because nobody wants it, because I know people want it, because I can look at my competitors and they're getting the sales. So I can then narrow it in and say it's probably because of my messaging or some other reason. So to me, that having that market validation is great. Now, if nobody's doing what you're doing, it doesn't mean your idea sucks either. It is possible that you could be a first to market. And when we say first to market, we mean you're the first person to bring this idea to market. It is possible. It's rare. Certainly at this day and age, it's rare to come up with an idea that nobody's ever done before, but it is possible. We certainly have new technology every single day, right? There are people out there who are being incredibly innovative. The number of people who are doing it is very small because it is hard because there's so much out there. But again, there being so much out there doesn't mean that it's a bad business idea. You do not need to be first to market to be successful. What you need to do is to have a really good offer that speaks to the pain points of the people you're trying to speak to, understand who you're trying to speak to, and message it really clearly. That's how you be successful, whether there's one of you or 1,000 of you doing the same thing. Cool? All right, my friends, I'm going to leave it there. Again, those are the 3 myths of online course creation. Number 1, that you're going to make a lot of money with your course right away. Probably not true, but you will over time. Number 2, that you don't have anything to create an online course about. I'm calling bullshit on that. Email me, DM me, comment on this live right here, and I will tell you how you can create an online course with what you know. And number 3, there are too many courses out there already, or my competitors are already doing it. And let me just tell you that it's the best market validation you could ever ask for. So I'm going to leave it there. I do want to remind you before I go that my dear friend and biz mentor, Amy Porterfield, is teaching a free live masterclass starting next week, all about creating your online course and taking those first steps. You can sign up for it by going to megkwheeler.com/launch. And I want to see you in that masterclass. All right, friends, have a great weekend and we'll see you all next week. Bye.